Thursday night in Thibodaux, Louisiana. Playoffs on the line for both Central Arkansas and Nicholls. Bryant Johnson with you courtside from Stoker Gymnasium, where one of the hottest offensive teams in the conference has arrived in South Louisiana. Central Arkansas trying to sweep the season series versus Nicholls. Colonels will make a change in their starting lineup tonight. They'll put Adam Ward into the first five for the first time this season. It's Liam Thomas, Iggy Repahowski, Javon Powell, Jonathan Bell, and Adam Ward for Nicholls. Central Arkansas, after scoring 106 points against Nicholls on Saturday, they arrive in Thibodaux with Jordan Howard and Derek Brooks having all of the attention on them. Those two combined for 62 points on Saturday. Tanner Schmidt, Ethan Lee, Matthew Kemba will round out the starting five for UCA, and we're underway. Colonel possession as Nicholls will try and improve on an 83-point performance on Saturday. Defense, big storyline this evening. Man-to-man was the exclusive defensive approach outside of a few 1-3-1 sets for UCA on Saturday. That's something we didn't see. Stevie Repahowski on the attack. Schmidt a little late in his reaction. Repahowski, 2 early points for the Colonels. 90% of his scoring is still being done from beyond the three-point line. Encouraging start for Repahowski. Brooks scores 15 of the first 24 points for UCA on Saturday. He won't shoot from the corner, but Campbell will. Repahowski, a field goal and a rebound. And Campbell was an unsung scorer in Saturday's game. Not a surprise that he would look to get going early. Keep an eye on how many jump shots UCA is trying to shoot against the Colonels. That was their mode of attack throughout all 40 minutes on Saturday. Adam Ward will turn it over for Nicholls. And after starting down the stretch last season and having 6 games where he scored at least 11 points and 7 rebounds over the final month of the year, Adam Ward trying to inject some new life into Nicholls this evening. Howard will shoot from anywhere. Won't take the early three. Brooks takes it right by Ward, and Schmidt, an open 13-footer to tie the game. Tanner Schmidt has doubled his production from his freshman season. Grew up in Buffalo and actually went to the Nicholls School in Eastern Buffalo. Was a 2.1 rebound a game player last year, 5 points, 3 rebounds this season. He'll have to plug up the middle and try to limit the touches for Thomas. He can't on this possession, and Liam Thomas, who started strong on Saturday before foul trouble caused a lot of problems. Good to see him on the board early. Powell just misses out on a steal, and you can imagine a lot of active attention on Jordan Howard tonight. Tough angle jumper. It's off the back rim by Lee. Offensive rebound and a new shot clock for UCA. They don't need it. Brooks can't hand Central Arkansas the advantage, and Powell eventually tracks down the rebound. Only 2 points in the first 2 minutes and 20 seconds for UCA. That's an accomplishment for the Colonels. Repahowski won't register his second field goal of the game. Schmidt with his second board. UCA, they've wanted to run all night. They finally get a chance to. Lee steps out of bounds off the Kemba miss. 0 for 2 start for Kemba. And Jadante Fry ready to make his debut for Nicholls. The intent with Fry was to try and relax him. He scored single digits in scoring the last 4 games. He came into this stretch with double figures in 11 of 12 games, and now he has the top 9 points in the last 4. He scored 9 against UCA on Saturday. He'll replace Adam Ward and look to become the top option offensively for Nicholls. ISO on the man-to-man and attack to the rim. 62 Nicholls. Jadante Fry strikes first. Encouraging sign for Nicholls. He's been shooting under 30% during these last 4 games. Jordan Howard's first 3 of the game. It's off left. And after making 11 of 13 threes last week, maybe Colonel ball off the deflection on the outlet from Javon Powell. Rare to see Jordan Howard miss a 3-pointer against the Colonels. Now he came in 10 for 30 in his career before going 8 for 9 on Saturday. You can go 10 for 30 and then still find yourself just under 50% in 5 games against Nicholls because of that performance on Saturday. Thomas, an aggressive post up, and he'll get 2 free throws. Richie Riley's in his first year with the Colonels, and when DeAndre Harris left the team in January, you knew there would be added options for the Colonel offense. You could find more scores. But Liam Thomas has yet to emerge as that player. And one of the things Coach Riley said, we don't care if he misses. We do not care if he turns it over. We want him to post up, be assertive, and live with the consequences. And Liam's got 3 points in the first 3 minutes and 19 seconds. It may not seem significant, but when you're averaging 6 points per game, Thomas, 3 early points, he won't make the free throw. That's 2 strong post-ups by the 7-foot center. Fry, Javon, time in the world, but he has a mishandle. Won't get the assist. Fry can't complete the play. A regrettable sequence for him. Tough angle floater. Long to the left for Howard, and Powell comes up with a rebound. Fry watching as Thomas streaks and scores. 5 early points for Liam Thomas. Not a lot. Thomas didn't need more than a seam on the step. 9-2 Nicholls. Offense at a premium in the first 4 minutes for UCA. Schmidt has already made 1 jumper. Give him a second one. Right short corner, left short corner. Versatility for Tanner Schmidt. He has topped his average in the first 4 minutes of the game. Colonels will take it. No points for Canva, Howard, or Brooks. Those 3 account for 52 points per game. Liam Thomas owning the offense in the first 5 minutes for Nicholls. 7 of the first 11. Thomas hasn't scored double figures in 2017. Canva gets the reach in. No, he doesn't. He gets the body bump on Thomas, and that's consequential. Liam Thomas picks up his first foul. And free throws will await Central Arkansas. After scoring 106 points on Saturday, UCA 4 in the first 4.5 minutes. Colonels, an early lead in a game they cannot afford to lose. Seven of the first 11 Colonel points, courtesy of Liam Thomas. Matthew Campbell on the board, he hits the free throw. December 28th, last time we saw double-figure scoring for Liam. Thought Saturday would be his first 10-plus point performance in conference play, but foul trouble ended all success that Thomas was experiencing. He had 6 rebounds and 7 points in the first 12 minutes of the game, and those were his final figures. He added a free throw and a couple more rebounds. 7 points, 8 rebounds in 21 minutes. Central Arkansas more aggressive. Thomas was in foul trouble, and a lot of the struggles that Nicholls experienced was due in large part to Liam's absence. Often made free throws. Jadante Fry travels. Second turnover on Nicholls. UCA ball down by 5. 2 for 8 start for Central Arkansas. They set a program record and made 3-pointers on Saturday. Still looking for their first tonight. Jeff Lowry touched to Brooks, and Schmidt, he's already made 2 short corner jumpers, not a third. Thomas to Bell, With Nicholls trying to locate more scoring options. Keep an eye on Jonathan Bell tonight. He's been one quiet Colonel. An early three. 8-point advantage. And Jonathan Bell, he wouldn't wait too long to try and reignite his scoring touch. Lowry, great backdoor feed. Got a rush shot by Kamba. Now Bell can take off with it. A lot of options. Has Lafayette in the corner. Trailing his Powell. And a cut to the rim. Rejected out of bounds. The foul is called on Schmidt. And free throws for Nicholls. Colonels would not be in the Southland Conference tournament if the season ended today. Central Arkansas, they could be part of the first four and actually have a bye in the opening round of the tournament. They're up to 7-6. They've matched the most wins in Southland Conference play since they joined the league. And Thatch Unruh will step in as Matthew Kamba exits. A lot of lean years for Central Arkansas since they joined the conference. But 7-6 in SLC play after the 23-point win on Saturday. Half game back, the 4th and 5th spot in the league. They have an early 10-point deficit to work with. Colonels extending their 1-3-1 zone, and this is not the man you want to leave open. Thatch Unruh is on the board, and a week removed from a 20-point career-high performance against Abilene Christian, UCA has their first three. If you enjoy shooters, come watch Thatch Unruh during warm-ups. It's a thing of beauty just watching him take stationary wing-to-wing jumpers. High-low action for Fry, banks it home. It wasn't the intent, who cares? Fry, 2 for 2, 4 points for Janante. Colonel defense and offense showing some signs of life through the first 6.5 minutes. Howard, his first field goal, and it was inevitable. Tough floater on the baseline. He could score from anywhere. He gets labeled as a primary jump shooter. If you sleep on Jordan Howard, he can cut across the paint and make you pay along the baseline. Bell, tough angle jumper. And Coach Riley displeased with the intent and decision by his senior guard. Howard all alone, left corner, and long. After a difficult runner, Jordan Howard, exactly what he wants, but he's 0 for 2 on threes. 3 straight misses against the Colonels for Howard after making his first 8 threes on Saturday. First time we've seen a zone by UCA this evening. They're second to last in the conference in blocks, last in steals. Shouldn't have said anything. Schmidt on the takeaway. And with 3 really good shooters on the floor for UCA, plus a dynamic scorer in Lowry, this is a tricky unit to guard for Nicholls. Good look by Schmidt. He'll find Unruh, and Bell on the blow-by. Second 3 of the game won't fall by Unruh, and a foul on Derek Brooks. It starts to become mental when you're playing a team that lit you up like Central Arkansas did on Saturday. Bell is a confident defender who would normally close out strong. But he ran right by Thatch Unruh. So paranoid about the shooting of Unruh that didn't trust himself defensively, and Central Arkansas, they're unable to make the Colonels play, but gives you an indication where Colonel heads are at defensively against UCA. And Powell throws it into the stands. 3rd turnover on the Colonels with the second costly one. Nicholls on top by 7. Janante Fry coming off the bench. He's got 4 points. Great start for Liam Thomas. 7 early points for the Colonel Center. And 3-point shooting for UCA has not been a strong suit in the opening 8 minutes. They set a program record on Saturday. 106-83 win against Nicholls. 8 for 9 was Howard. UCA as a team, they came just short of hitting 23s in the game. Colonels attempted 48. Bears end up making 18. UCA, slow start, only 1 made 3 in the first 8 minutes. They trail by 7. not an issue for Nicholls on Saturday. And after losing by 23, offense will not be a concern tonight. Colonels are 7 for 10 from the floor. Turnovers, only 6 of them on Saturday, but now back-to-back turnovers for Nicholls. They have 3 in the game. Adam Ward re-enters, and Tanner Schmidt just wants to shoot corner jumpers. He's made 3 15-foot right and left short corner jumpers tonight. 6 points for Schmidt, and with Howard, Kamba, and Brooks quiet through the first 8 minutes, the sophomore from Buffalo. Great start for UCA. Adam Ward made his first start of the season. Spent the last 3 minutes on the bench. And Lafayette Rutledge, after putting together a 9 3-point performance on Saturday, his first one is long. He tried to draw the foul. Good defense by Lowry, but he'll walk with it. Lafayette Rutledge, if he is in the gymnasium, he is a threat to shoot. 9 for 22 on Saturday. Program record, but the 22 3-point attempts should be an indication what the Saturday afternoon in Conway, Arkansas was like for Nicholls. They were desperate by the end of that game, and 2-pointers were not needed. Adam Ward, deep post positioning, but Schmidt has been the MVP for UCA. Great defensive set for him. He forces the miss. Lowry can take off with it. Can't get the foul on the bump with Fry. And now it's Kamba and Ward locating Unruh for a rare 2-point attempt. Can't get the shot to fall, and Repahowski has his second rebound. Javon Powell, length of the floor, wanted the foul. It won't be provided to him. Only 4 fouls called in the minutes. And a late blow the whistle will send Matthew Kamba to the free throw line. Colonels finished with 6 turnovers in Saturday's loss. And a lot of that was due in large part to the transition game and 3-point interest for both teams. There weren't long possessions. And by the time halftime arrived, Coach Riley made it clear to his team, 2-point shots are not needed. In fact, if you do take a 2-pointer, I'm probably going to pull you from the game. And the Colonels were able to rally. They pulled to within 7. It was 81-74, and Nicholls actually had 3 possessions, back-to-back stops on UCA, and a chance to cut that deficit. They couldn't. Central Arkansas pulled away. Now a 10-point lead for Nicholls. It's dropped to 3. 7-0 run for UCA off the made free throws. First 2 of the night for Kamba. Nice dribble drive by Powell. Rutledge won't take the 3. Late closeout. And Fry from 15 feet. He's wide left. Christensen came over. He contested before the shot was attempted. UCA, great stretch of defense, and now they have a chance to tie. And won't. Lowry, his first shot attempt is long. Stop and pop for Powell to find Repahowski, his 3rd straight miss, and Christensen on the glass with the rebound. Bob Powell getting wherever he wants offensively. Now Nicholls has watched their 10-point lead drop to 1. Christensen on the goaltend. It's 18-17. Who would have expected UCA to get back in this game with no scoring from Garrett Brooks, Matthew Kamba, and Jordan Howard. Howard hit a floater earlier in the half. Kamba 2 free throws. But Christensen and Schmidt, the big contributors for UCA. Credit to Tanner Schmidt. 3 for 4, 6 points, 3 long jumpers for Schmidt. UCA back to within 1. An 18-17 lead for Nicholls, but a 9-0 run for UCA, and the 3rd turnover of the half by Javon Powell. Central Arkansas, rare chance to take the lead. Lowry, by attacking Thomas, unable to finish, and Liam Thomas can't pull home the rebound. There's Powell, and the Colonels can run with it. Transition buckets, non-existent for Nicholls until now. 9 first half points for Liam Thomas. Schmidt and Thomas. 15 points between the two players for UCA and Nicholls. Gamba's still looking for a field goal against the Colonels. Liam averages 6 points per game. Schmidt averages 4 per game. Unruh can't collect his second three, and then a push off on Kamba. You're wondering who is providing the awesome color commentary tonight. You can hear him. Not sure if I can't. I don't know about you. Tim Rebo, Colonel football coach. It's not the off season. It never is for football, but that we have Tim Rebo sitting right behind the Colonel bench right now, and he's probably the loudest voice in the stands. All completely acceptable comments and statements, I might add. It's all fun. It's all good-natured. Gives you an idea what life is like in Thibodaux on a Thursday night in mid-February. Colonel basketball, they need all the support they can get if they'll reach the postseason. Conference tournament 3 weeks away. And Liam Thomas, man of the hour tonight. For all the offensive struggles that he's endured. Impressive start for Liam Thomas, but no defense on Jordan Howard. Thomas in double figures with 11, but the Colonel lead stands at 2, and it was inevitable. Jordan Howard leads the conference in three-point makes. He's number 2 in the country in three-point percentage. Central Arkansas within 2. We may not top 100 points in this game, but it will be back and forth. And offense will never be in short supply. Dante Fry just loses control on a giveaway on the sideline for Parnell. Fry lost his shoe. And UCA right back in the picture. 10-point lead is gone. UCA within 2. Central Arkansas on a 13-6 run. They've turned a 10-point deficit into just a 2-point lead for the Colonels. Tanner Schmidt, he continues to be the big scorer for UCA. He's got 6 points, but Howard finally cashed in on his first 3. Colonels looking for a response after the timeout. Early points for Liam Thomas. Colonels have a 2-point advantage, and we may have to start talking career high with Thomas. First time he's reached double figures in 2017, and he's got 11 points in 10 minutes. Now the Colonels need a defensive stand. They won't get one as Repahowski slid late to try to take the charge. Thomas was ready for the block. Liam does not have a block shot against Central Arkansas in 2 games now. Still plenty of time for him to change that reality. But you have to credit the approach of Russ Pennell and the Central Arkansas Bears. They have made this a perimeter matchup in 1+ games against the Colonels. Parnell good on the first free throw attempt. He can tie it up on the second. And the nation's leader in shot blocks being restricted to mop-up duty defensively. Central Arkansas now has the game tied. Both teams with robust non-conference schedules. Power 5 schools always in the calling card for Nicholls and Central Arkansas non-conference play. And both Pennell and Coach Riley, they make that lofty defensive and non-conference schedule so they can win late in conference play. Rutledge can't connect on the 3. Pennell can push. Schmidt will not pick up his 4th field goal via the jumper. Transition field goal is tough for the Colonels to find. Rutledge, his transition 3 is short, and Schmidt owns the glass. UCA has been able to slow this game down, something that you would imagine would not be favorable to their offensive conditions. But after allowing an 18-8 deficit to grow, UCA will hand it right back to Nicholls with the game tied at 22. If you'll notice, Liam Thomas, Stevie Repahowski, Adam Ward, they all have new hairdos this evening. Mid-February, senior season for Thomas and Ward, they decided to go with the close crop look. And it's been all business for Thomas tonight, but they wipe off the travel, something that Coach Riley is not in agreement with. Thought Thomas sold the jump stop and still was able to finish it. Turnovers intensifying for Nicholls. They're up to 8. More turnovers tonight than the Colonels had in 40 minutes against UCA on Saturday. Good ball movement. Parnell sells the jumper and counters Thomas and allows the tip-in to be finished by Christensen. Albert Christensen's first 2 points. UCA is on top by 2. Colonels had a 10-point lead with 6 minutes ago. Parnell, a late giveaway to Camba, 4-point lead for UCA. A forgettable 6-minute stretch for Nicholls where they've scored a total of 4 points. 18-4 run for UCA. And Liam Thomas is still the only Colonel that's been able to register any successful offense, and even when he gets a good look inside, now his shot's falling a little short. Fry ready to check back in for Nicholls. Nice poke away by Bell, and he'll be rewarded. Jonathan Bell, 2nd field goal of the game. Colonel's trying to get some life in this building. It's been a sluggish 6-minute stretch. Now with Christensen challenging Thomas, it was inevitable. His first block of the night, but a giveaway by Rutledge. Too generous. Colonels with double-digit turnovers in the first half. Brooks, nice feed late. Christensen panicked. He felt the pressure of Liam Thomas. Nicholls can tie or take the lead. And this was the big advantage for UCA on Saturday. They were not looking for inside shots. Thomas was never a defensive threat to block anything. Nicholls was able to drill 18 threes on Saturday. They have 3 tonight. 2nd for Stevie Repahowski. The lead is back in Nicholls' favor. 8 points for Repahowski, 11 for Liam Thomas. These two average 13 points per game combined. Brooks has been rattled tonight. Not the Derek Brooks that scored 29 points in each of 2 of his last 3 games against Nicholls. And now Howard, he's forced into a turnover. Rutledge wants the 3, won't make it, and a 2-on-1 is wasted. Howard, length of the floor, not rewarded. Thomas on the outlet, and Nicholls has another 2-on-2. Bell, great take, and he's fouled. Back and forth we go. Colonels have won 12 of the 21 meetings against UCA. The Central Arkansas came in this building a year ago, picked up a victory. UCA has won 2 out of the last 3 against Nicholls. The Colonels still fighting for their playoff lives. They cannot afford to lose this game. It's Nicholls on top by 1, waning moments of half number 1. 11 points for the senior from Sydney, Australia. He's played 14 minutes. This is the 114th game of Thomas's Colonel career. Career high is 17 points. He's 6 off of it with 23 minutes to play in this game. He's always been a capable scorer, but it hasn't been in his offensive portfolio. Jonathan Bell stuck on 5 points as he misses a free throw attempt. A couple blocks for Thomas tonight. He's up to 95 on the season. Jonathan Bell, 1 for 2, 6 points for JB. Good to see Bell and Fry have an encouraging start offensively. Those two have been pulled together over the last 4 games. Nicholls protecting a 2-point advantage. Derek Brooks wants to hand UCA the lead. He won't. And Liam Thomas, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks in the first 15 minutes of the game for him. Devon Powell will await his arrival. And Liam's playing low block exclusively tonight. He's been a high post threat. His passing allows him to play 15 feet out, but it's hurt his offense. I'll get a chance to work out on Brooks, who doesn't challenge this shot, and that's a problem for any defender. Doesn't get a hand in Jadante Fry's face. His 3rd field goal has Nicholls up by 4. Schmidt continues to live on the baseline, but he's missed 2 straight jumpers from the corner. Javon Powell, the recipient of a tip rebound. Great passing performance in the first half for Powell. He's up to 5 dimes. Bell's hit 1 3. Give him a second. 6 assists for Powell. Nicholls is up 7. And after enduring a long 6.5-minute scoring slump, Colonel's reconnecting. The lead's almost back to 10 points. Derek Brooks, ice cold tonight. 0 for 3 start for Brooks. Scored 29 against Nicholls on Saturday. Final 2 minutes of the first half, and Repahowski unloads from the corner and won't make his 3rd of the game. Brooks was late on the coverage, and you can't blame Repahowski. He's attempted 5 threes in the first half. Jordan Howard, you knew that was going up. Second 3 of the game for Jordan Howard. He may finish 1 and 2 with his brother in 3-point shooting this season. Marcus Howard is at 52% with Marquette in his freshman year. Hasn't met the threshold for necessary attempts to qualify nationally. He's close. Wouldn't that be a story? Powell, 4th turnover, just throws it away to Kamba. He's got Brooks running the lane, and Brooks almost was able to draw the foul and the finish. 5 straight for UCA. 7-point advantage for Nicholls is down to 2. Final minute in half number 1. UCA closed strong on Saturday. They're doing the same tonight. But Repahowski, he is unloading from beyond the arc. 3rd 3 for Repahowski. 11 first half points for Stevie Repahowski. 11 first half points for Liam Thomas. Double trouble for the Colonels as they have 22 of Nicholls' 36 points. And Russ Pennell with 1:07 left in half number 1. He'll set the stage for the final couple possessions for UCA. Central Arkansas had a 50-41 lead at halftime on Saturday. Much more reduced scoring effort between the Colonels and UCA Bears this evening. And all of our primary scorers have taken a back seat. Brooks and Howard, along with Rutledge and Fry. You thought those would be the 4 players to watch. All 4 stepped back and found complementary scoring. It's made things a little more difficult for Derek Brooks and for Jordan Howard. Same thing can be said for Lafayette Rutledge and Jonathan Bell, but for Nicholls, they are enjoying the fruits of their labor. 5-point lead with 60 seconds to play, and even though a careless foul is called on Javon Powell, both teams appeared to be on the verge of surviving the first half without being in the bonus. 5 fouls on UCA, 5 on Nicholls, and wouldn't that be a treat? Have 40 minutes of basketball with both teams not dealing with foul trouble. He's really plagued Nicholls over the last 3 weeks. Powell pressing up on Howard, and you have to be so cautious with him 30 feet away from the hoop. Devon is second in the conference in steals, but if you gamble, Howard will make you pay. Unruh hit an earlier three from the corner. He is expanding his game before our very eyes. Thatch Unruh starting to look like his older brother. And that's no disrespect to Thatch, but if you ever watch Tate Unruh play at Northern Colorado, that pump and drive on the baseline, flashback to what Big Sky opponents dealt with for 4 years. Impressive showing in half number one for Thatch. He'll play off and allow Powell to shoot a late three. It's off the back rim. Schmidt with the rebound, and UCA can take the final shot. Half number one ended on Saturday with a runner by Howard at the buzzer. He'll call for the screen. Late double, that gives Unruh the ball. He'll try to tie from the corner, a little short, and Nicholls protects a 3-point lead at halftime. After scoring 50 points in the first half and 53 in the second half against Nicholls last Saturday, much more quiet offensive showing for UCA this evening. They're stuck on 33 points. They shot 30% in the first half. Jordan Howard, 2 made threes. He missed his first 2. And Derek Brooks never could get going. Only 2 first-half points for Derek Brooks. Should be a lively conversation for Russ Pennell at halftime in the UCA locker room. Colonels 36, UCA 33. We'll catch you for half number 2 from Stoker Gymnasium in Thibodaux. second half from Thibodeau. Colonels holding a 3-point lead against Central Arkansas. And after a 60+% shooting performance from beyond the arc on Saturday by UCA, Colonel's happy to look up at the scoreboard and see a 3 for 14 start by Central Arkansas. And they were 1 for 10 outside of Jordan Howard's 2 for 4 on triple shooting. No surprise to see Tanner Schmidt get an early touch. And from 26 feet, Jordan Howard will tie the game. It's in rhythm. Every single time he releases a shot, it appears to be the most natural, relaxed, comfortable attempt. For a man who was supposed to be a walk-on at the University of Arizona, I think he made the right choice. His family had a great relationship with Coach Pinnell, and once they made that move from Grand Canyon University, when Dan Marley was brought in, take the job at your alma mater and bring home some players that you have a past relationship with. Jordan Howard was the face of that first recruiting class, and he's got the game tied at 36. Nicholls had 4 players with at least 6 points in the first half. Liam Thomas led him at 11 points, 5 boards, and 2 blocks, and he's really assertive in the post. Bell can't find him initially. Now on the pop, a soft 12-footer, and it's long. Great game for Tanner Schmidt. He's got 7 rebounds to go along with his 6 points. And in transition, Derek Brooks, last player you want to see get off to a quick start in the second half. 5 quick points in the opening 60 seconds for UCA. They're on top by 2. Derek Brooks, a 1 for 4 shooting performance in the first half. Only 2 points for him. Repahowski was a gunner in half number 1. It continues into the second half. 4 threes for Stevie Repahowski. Colonels back on top by a point. Nicholls now 5 of 13 on threes, and Jordan Howard answering but unable to hit. And Schmidt loses the rebound. Adam Ward collects and claims it. 2 on 4 for Bell. He's got Repahowski trailing, shooting, and hitting. Back-to-back threes by Stevie Repahowski. His parents in attendance tonight. What an addition he has been for this 2017 team after sitting out last year. Made the transfer in from Tulsa. Jordan Howard, too much room in the corner, and Repahowski reacts late. Slight separation, it's all he needs, and this is the type of back-and-forth shooting performance we expected tonight. Repahowski not to be outdone. We had a sequence on Saturday with 4 made threes and 1 long jumper by Lowry in 65 seconds. We might replicate that feat. Back-to-back-to-back threes, and Schmidt rushing a jumper, but no one boxes out Ethan Lee. That's all right. Liam Thomas gets his 3rd block. He had 0 on Saturday. Nice bounce-back game by the nation's leader in block shots. And a great dribble drive for a Powell to Bell. Assist, he won't come up with it. Kamba off and running. Great feed, but Lee pays a severe price. Not tonight. Adam Ward, big block. Ward, round of applause as he exits. Eye level with the rim. And resistance by Adam Ward to protect the 4-point lead. Bumps Kamba, no foul. And now Bell re-arrives in the picture, but nobody thinks to guard Howard. And Jordan Howard, 3 threes just like that. CA and his junior not complete. Fry all alone. We are not done with the 3-point barrage yet. 7 staff between Nick. 8 in the first to the second half. Brooks wants 1 more and he collects. Uncanny. When Nicholls and UCA meet, the triples will fly, and there's UCA 7 for 19. 8 3-pointers in the first 3.5 minutes, and now Nicholls back to a 1-point lead. Little slip and stop. Liam Thomas on the throwdown. He's assisted on 8 for the Colonels tonight. Timeout, Russ Pinnell. It's an offensive onslaught in the first 4 minutes of the second half. and UCA, both putting 14 on the board, which the two teams are scoring that you have to admire. Offense not lacking between Nicholls and Central. Just like that, got 3 threes in the second half. Quiet 8 points in the first half. Howard on fire in the first 4 minutes, but Liam Thomas and Stevie Repahowski, they've combined for 30 points, 10 rebounds, and Thomas can't forget his 3-point lead at home. Like it. 50-47 Nicholls, still 16 minutes to play. UCA 341st in the country in defensive points allowed. Colonels gave up 106 of their own on Saturday, and Nicholls allowing almost 80 per game now, two of the worst defensive teams in the country. It's not necessarily a negative fact, just a reality. That they would have a height deficiency and a small bench. Both Coach Pinnell and Coach Rowley decided to just roll with an offensive and after a 36-33 showing in the first half, Colonels had a 3-point lead. 14 points for both teams in the first 4 minutes of the second half. Official media timeout as both teams head to their huddles. Nicholls 5th. This is Colonel basketball on Colonels All Access. Powell, an offensive takeover, pure passer tonight. He's up to 10 assists. His career high. Dante Fry. Lowry. Nicholls holding a 3-point lead as Powell length to the floor, layup won't fall, and Lowry just shoved Fry to the ground. 4-on-4 as both Fry and Schmidt have yet to re-arrive in the picture. And Gamba, Schmidt, the perfect time. Tip performance by the sophomore. 8 points, 8 rebounds in 20. Back and forth we go. Colonel lead stands at 1. Howard gets caught on the screen. Great cross-court feed for an open 3 that Fry buries. 11 assists, a new career high for Javon Powell. Powell has one job and one job only, and that is to track Jordan Howard. Box and 1 as Powell tries to keep Howard at bay. Good look to Brooks. His first 3 of the game is in. And a foul on Nicholls after the shot hit home. UCA could finish with a 6-point possession. Major momentum swing on Brooks' first 3 of the game. Liam Thomas on the box out is called for the foul. And UCA will get a baseline inbound. Howard draws in Repahowski, but he can't dish in time to Kamba. And UCA will keep it on the baseline. They trail 55 to 54 with 13:50 to play. Howard running off ball, and Powell keeping a close eye on him on the sideline. Lowry draws the coverage. Schmidt has the jumper, but that's 3 straight missed 15-footers by Schmidt. And a foul on the flip side, reaching on Matthew Kamba. Jonathan Bell and Javon Powell putting together a career performance with their passing. 16 combined assists between those two. They have 16 of the 17 assists in this game. Powell has a new career high with 11. Hasn't looked for a shot tonight. That'll change. Open jumper long. Tip layup, no. But Thomas on the second try also rushes it. Liam Thomas was 6 for 8 before those 2 misses. Howard, good look for Brooks. Second spot up jumper is in from the same spot he just hit one from. Left wing 3-pointer, back-to-back 3s by Brooks. UCA's up 2. Fry from the left corner, now the right corner. Won't get the same result. Colonel offense growing quiet over the last 3 minutes after Nicholls put 14 points on the board in the first 3.5 minutes of the second half. Only 5 in the last 3.5 minutes. 2-man game with Lowry and Howard. And with Howard receiving a significant amount of attention, a lot of open looks for other Bears. Brooks a little too strong, and Powell can push. Transition game for Bell. Not providing the scoring results he wants, but 2 free throws will still be acquired for Bell. Nicholls put 14 points on the board in the first 4 minutes of the second half, with a different pace of play since Russ Pennell called a timeout with 15:59 on the clock. Nicholls came out of the timeout. They surrounded Howard and would not allow Javon Powell to leave his side on defense. On the flip side, the Colonel consistency they were expecting in the half-court sets disappeared. Bell will try to get a couple freebies to fall, and he'll make the first free throw. 4 Colonels now in double figures. Repahowski leads everybody with 17. He'll take a quick seat. Fry is up to 14 in the game. Bell is now in double figures with 10. Liam Thomas has 11. And Bell goes 2 for 2 after missing his first free throw attempt of the night. He's made 3 in a row. Tied at 57, and this is exactly what you would expect between Nicholls and UCA. They've been back and forth over the last 2 seasons. Central Arkansas pulled away on Saturday. And they're doing the same thing in the second half with their offense. 2-point lead, different scoring situation than what we experienced 5 days ago. They are getting whatever they want in half number 2. Hand check on Unruh. 4th team foul on the Bears in the first 8 minutes of the second half. And Nicholls will powwow on the sideline. Deficit stands at 2 for the Colonels. They've led by as many as 10 points in this game, but Jordan Howard and Derek Brooks, hot start in the second half. 17 points for Howard, back-to-back threes for Brooks after a scoreless first half. And it's Nicholls now trailing 59-57 with 11:56 to play in Thibodaux. Colonel's trying to play catch-up. 3-point halftime lead has disappeared. It's UCA on top by a field goal. The entire tone and tenor of this game has changed in the second half. Scoring onslaught for both teams. Rutledge, great feed into Liam Thomas, who rushes the shot. 3 straight misses after Liam opens 6 for 8 tonight. You hate to see UCA out in space. Transition jumper a little long by Lowry. Good contest by Thomas. And Powell on the giveaway. Derek Brooks comes into the stands. We'll get a chance to see Howard spot up for the corner 3. He's fouled. And free throws for UCA. Derek Brooks just broke our monitor. I think it's broken. I'm not going to blame the guy. It's a good aggressive play by Derek Brooks. And what are you going to do? Well, this is a combative game. And Derek Brooks came over on it. Put up 29 in 2 of the last 3 for UCA. And he just flew into press row and took out our courtside monitor. But he came over and showed a little love, so you got to respect him. He's from Portland, got that West Coast charm, and his team is up by 3. Jordan Howard shooting free throws, and he's not going to miss any. He missed one on Saturday. It was an absolute shock. He's got a soft touch on the road. Makes them both. Largest lead of the game for UCA. 93% free throw shooter Jordan Howard, 2 for 2. 61-57 UCA. Well, I thought we weren't going to threaten the 100-point mark tonight. Maybe not. Could be in jeopardy. Rutledge, he's due for his first 3. Maybe a 4-point play. Rutledge hit on the arm. First 3 of the game is an important one. 61-60 UCA. Rutledge goes 9 for 22 from beyond the arc on Saturday. A lot of it were 4 shots late, and he was requested to take as many threes as he could. So you can't look at that number and think it was Lafayette's interest in jacking up 22 threes, and they were erratic and rush shots. Coach Riley told him, green light whenever you touch the ball. Quiet start for Rutledge, but he finishes up the 4-point play, and we're tied. Unruh, all alone, shoots over Rutledge and buries it. That's Unruh. He loves Thursday nights. Came in averaging 2 points per game before he went off for 20 against Abilene Christian last week. 10 points, 3 rebounds in 9 minutes against Nicholls tonight. He is going to be a player. This is a sophomore. Wait till he and Jordan Howard can work together next year. Rutledge hits 1 3, second one a little too strong. Colonels can't collect, but it was last touched by Howard. In 2 games, we now have 53 three-pointers between Nicholls and UCA. Both teams have hit 9 tonight. Colonels came up with 18 on Saturday. UCA with 17. It was a new program record and their 23-point win. And the offensive identity is restricted to three-pointers in the second half tonight for both teams. Good look by Thomas, but Fry can't complete the wraparound. There's a lid on that bucket in the paint tonight. Three-pointers, not a problem. Jumpers, they've looked good. Finishing in the interior has presented the most problems for Nicholls. That's Unruh. He's open, and he'll shoot. This one wide right. Christensen, great save. Who wants it? Brooks comes down, and with no options in the interior, safe reset for UCA. We're even in rebounding tonight. Nicholls has one of the worst rebounding margins in the country, but they've been combative and aggressive. Colonels need a stop. It's an extended possession for UCA, and a body bump for the and one. An NBA continuation provided Duranja Parnell. Five-point lead marks the largest lead of the night for UCA. Parnell off right, Fry with the rebound. And let's keep an eye on Jadante Fry over the final 9 minutes. First game of the year, he's come in off the bench. Real strong performance. Nicholls needs a new identity offensively, and you would expect it to be Fry. Bell on the ISO attack. No one stops him, and Jonathan Bell. The surprise move by the senior. Colonel's back within 3. 66-63, JB's up to 13 points, 9:07 to play. Timeout, Richie Riley. Back and forth we go on a critical mid-February matchup between Central Arkansas and Nicholls. (66-63), Central Arkansas still clinging to a 3-point advantage, but after scoring 33 points in the first half, UCA already matching that total, and they'll get free throws out of the timeout. Derek Brooks, no one stops the dribble drive entry. 2 free throws for the number 2 scorer for UCA, who would be leading most teams in the Southland Conference if he was their number 1 weapon, but he has to play second fiddle to Jordan Howard. Kind of laugh at that comment. Derek Brooks is second fiddle to no one, and his offense has been the reason why UCA beat Nicholls a year ago in this building. They still would have picked up a win on Saturday. He wouldn't have gone off for 29 points, but it was important. It mattered in the midst of some of those second half runs that the Colonels went on. And after scoring 29 against the Colonels a year ago in Thibodaux, slow start for Brooks tonight. 15 second half points. He's up to 17 in the game. Lead stands at 5 for UCA, and Thomas gives it up at midcourt. Great job recovering by Powell. He's got options. Late look to Bell, handoff inside. Liam Thomas, great patience for the bucket. He's 4 off his career high. Cross court by Brooks. Unruh won't shoot over Fry. Lowry using the wide body of Christensen, but he's blocked for the 4th time by Liam Thomas. And Nicholls can run. It's a 1-on-2 for Bell. He'll wait for Powell. 3-point game. Colonels will play smart, slow it down. Liam Thomas, a 15-point performance. He wants an assist. Good drop step and a foul on the inside. 2 free throws for Fry. You wondered how Fry would react to the adjustment that was made pregame by Coach Riley. And when we say it was a last-minute decision, no one knew if Fry would make the start or if he would come in off the bench until the stat sheet had been produced and presented to visiting and home radio and the scorers table. Jadante Fry and shoot around today, there were 2 different lineups used by Nicholls, and one had Fry in the starting lineup, the other had Adam Ward included, but coaching staff said throughout the day, this is going to be a Richie Riley decision, and it'll be made pregame just based on his feel for what he wants out of the game. And it wasn't a demotion. It was Nicholls trying to get Adam Ward in the starting lineup and to calm and relax Jadante Fry after a 4-game struggle. Fry had failed to top 9 points in his last 4 games. Off the bench tonight, Jadante Fry in 23 minutes, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 6 of 10 shooting. Picks up his 15-point, makes his first free throw of the game. Christensen exits, so does Lowry. Tanner Schmidt, he and Parnell, they'll join Thach Unruh, Derek Brooks, and Jordan Howard. Fry going neck and neck atop the conference in minutes played per game, but he only played 10 minutes in the first half on Saturday for foul trouble. His numbers took a big hit. He goes 2 for 2 from the line. Colonels are within 1. Unruh showing his versatility on the dribble, but he lost his composure on the pass. Nicholls will look to retake the lead when we return to Thibodaux. Turnover number 7 for UCA. It hasn't been a factor tonight. They're still shooting under 40% from the floor, but 6 made threes in the second half and just 9 attempts for UCA. It has them on top with 7:53 to play. An unstoppable offensive showing by both teams in the second half, as UCA with a 68-67 lead, 7:53 on the clock. (68-67), 7:50 on the clock. Nicholls with just 1 loss at home this season. Game and a half out of the playoff picture in the Southland Conference. It's not a must-win, but it certainly feels like it. Fry operating out of the post, and Unruh reaches in. That'll be free throws for Nicholls. 7:31 to play, and the Colonels are in the bonus. Jadante Fry just registered a couple makes. Dynamic offensive unit on the floor for the Colonels. Stevie Repahowski has a career high in scoring. He's up to 17 points in the game. Liam Thomas, 2 off his career high. Colonels still fighting for the advantage. They need both free throws for Fry to fall to retake this lead. Jadante Fry, quiet first half, but now he has matched Repahowski with a game-high 17 points. Both teams 10 for 12 from the line. Nicholls now with 11 makes, 2 for 2 trip for Fry. It's been that kind of night. Outside of the 18-8 lead for Nicholls, it's been a 1 or 2 possession game since the opening jump. Daraja Parnell, hard back into Repahowski. It's Thomas digging. Parnell lucky to find Schmidt on the release, 12 on the clock. Brooks will expose an ISO, shoot over Fry. What a player. Can you play that any better? Jadante Fry knew the move, he anticipated it, still couldn't get the stop. 17 second half points for Brooks. He's off and running. Will he give it up to Howard? Nice decision, and Howard can't pay. Colonels unable to support and secure the loose ball. Javon Powell, he was able to string out Derek Brooks, and Jordan Howard prevent the straight-up dunk by Brooks. Maybe a little too unselfish on that giveaway, but UCL have possession. Another big turnover given up. Repahowski gets caught on Howard, and Powell was there for support, but he forgets about Parnell. Quick kick out, Brooks drives on Thomas. Repahowski laying out, and there'll be 15 seconds on the shot clock. You hear Coach Riley in his conversations with seniors. The common and quote is often, what does this really mean to you? You're senior, you're veteran. What does it mean to you to make that playoff push? We're seeing the effort. It's not in question. Colonels understand that they cannot afford a loss tonight if they want to reach the 2017 Southland Conference Tournament in Katy, Texas. But Tanner Schmidt is about to pick up the first double-double of his career. He's been relentless. Lowry a little too open, unselfish to Brooks. He misses, and Schmidt gets called for the push-off. Free throws for Liam Thomas. Tanner Schmidt with 8 points and 9 rebounds. He came in averaging 4 points and 3 boards. Loose ball foul will allow free throws for Thomas, and maybe he'll be able to top that career high. He can certainly inch his way closer with a couple makes. 15 on the night for Thomas. Career high is 17. Fry will get a quick breather on the bench. Lafayette Rutledge back in the picture. Still 1-1 for Nicholls, and they'll clear out the paint. They're so confident in Liam Thomas. He's a career 55% free throw shooter. He's been under 70% this year, back and forth in between that 65 to 70% range. He's down to 67%, but still a tremendous shooting display by Thomas in his senior season. He has tied his career high. Repahowski and Liam Thomas, both with a career high 17 points. It's Nicholls leading by 1. Repahowski, he has his sights set on Howard. Howard playing off ball. Parnell has Rutledge on his heels. Great drive, but Thomas is there for the protection. Shot clock rests at 9. Liam Thomas, 5 block shots tonight. A few of the UCA coaches were laughing about Thomas. They said, yeah, quit bringing up that he had 0 against us on Saturday. He'll probably pick up 10 tonight. He might. Clock at 4. Lowry deep jumper. Back rims it. Powell and Bell there for the rebound. UCA was up by 5 just 3.5 minutes ago. Nicholls has responded. They have possession with a 1-point lead. Thomas back to his traditional high post position. Now he'll post up. Repahowski not looking his way. Liam demanding the ball. He catches off block and finds Repahowski slipping and scoring. 19 points for Stevie Repahowski. Those 5 3-pointers have opened up the interior for him. Howard gets by. Thomas misses the shot, but Daraja Parnell. No issue on the follow-up jam. We've seen some impressive athleticism this evening. Daraja Parnell adding a little flavor to the fun we're having on a Thursday night in South Louisiana. These two teams never disappoint, always back and forth, and Thomas calling and catching, but he rushes the baby hook shot. Parnell, he'll run with it. Brooks runs into Rutledge, misses the floater, another freebie. Parnell back-to-back offensive putbacks. Central Arkansas with a 1-point lead. Russ Pennell has built Central Arkansas into a Southland contender. 7-6 in league play. Nicholls 11-14 on the year, but the Colonels down to 4-8 in the conference. Shot clock at 10. It's Powell and Brooks deep in the corner. Powell has to attack. It's caught along the baseline, and it's thrown out of bounds. Colonels will have 4 seconds to respond. Repahowski takes a quick seat. You know, we'll see him back in the game shortly. Rutledge, Thomas, Fry, Bell, and Powell for Nicholls. The shot clock at 4. Javon Powell deep to mid-court. Fry to Bell. Hesitates, shoots, and airballs it. Shot clock violation. Final media timeout. Fry was unaware of time and situation. And now Nicholls will have to lock up defensively. 4 straight points by Daraja Parnell. UCA, they have a 74-73 lead. Crunch time in Thibodaux. 1 point lead for UCA. Colonels have locked up Central Arkansas offensively, but it's the second chance points that are just killing the Colonels. 15 offensive rebounds for UCA. Nicholls has 2. Central Arkansas shooting 38% in the game, but they cannot get it past Liam Thomas. The 6th block of the game for Thomas, and he contributes to a change of possession. 4 second-half blocks for Thomas. He is 1 off 100 in this 2017 season. And Javon Powell trying to steady the ship. Great game for Powell, even if it doesn't reflect on his offensive performance. 11 assists, 7 rebounds, only 2 points. Thomas, tough entry to Fry. He's fouled from behind. 1 and 1. Jadante Fry, 3:29 to play. Russ Pennell in his 3rd year with Central Arkansas. Richie Riley in his 1st season. This is the new generation of coaches in the conference. They have a national profile. They've been at high major programs. And they have brought some serious talent into the conference. And Fry will not make the free throw. Double bonus for the final 3.5 minutes. Big miss. Daraja Parnell, he'll run the offense for UCA. That's Unruh. Double-figure scoring for him for the 2nd straight Thursday. Has 2 double-digit scoring games in the conference, both in the last week. Good help for Thomas. He recovers late. Miss is covered by Schmidt, and he's in double figures. He might have a left knee injury to tend to. Schmidt wincing as he heads up the floor. It's 6 straight points for UCA. 2 of the last 3 field goals on second chance putbacks. Rutledge and Fry, clock down to 9. Rutledge, 1 big second half 3. And he's open to tie the game. In and out, and Bell lost the rebound. All 5 on the floor for UCA are in double figures, and that creates such uncertainty defensively. Who do you guard? You have to keep an eye on Brooks and Howard, but everyone has contributed to this late lead for UCA. Nickel offense without a field goal in the last 2.5 minutes, and UCA with the clock at 7. Unruh to Brooks. He walks. Costly turnover with the shot clock at 4. You take 26 seconds off the clock, but with 2:06 to play and a 3-point lead for UCA, there are worse results of a possession. But with the way Central Arkansas has rebounded, if you're Russ Pennell, you hate that that possession ends without a shot attempt. 16 offensive boards for UCA tonight. Powell, Fry, Rutledge, Thomas, and Bell for the Colonels. Brooks, Howard, Parnell. Ethan Lee just came in, and Thatch Unruh, he's also on the floor. Lee had a couple big blocks on Saturday. No surprise he's into play defense. Parnell late on Powell. He's 0 for 5 and misses a 3. concerns for the Colonels as Brooks is open, shooting and scoring. 22nd half points for Derek Brooks. He just loves the Colonels. 3 of his last 4 games he's scored in excess of 22. Foul to Rutledge. He'll shoot over Unruh and make it. Second 3 of the second half for Lafayette Rutledge. He's got 11 made threes against Central Arkansas in the last week. Just when UCA felt a little comfort, they were able to extend 3-point lead to 6th, largest lead of the game. Lafayette Rutledge right back in the picture. And now UCA will have to withstand a little late Russian rally by the Colonels. UCA, one of the best free throw shooting teams in the country, and Jordan Howard certainly helps the UCA cause, but they're 74% on the year as a team. Brooks, Howard, Kamba, you don't want to see any of these players at the line. 90 seconds left in the game, not a free throw shooting battle to be waged just yet, but the Colonels do have 14 fouls, something to keep in the back of your mind if Nicholls does have to put themselves in a position to start hacking and hitting UCA. They would need 3 of them before the Bears are even in the bonus. Central Arkansas, a half game removed from the top 4 in the conference. They're 7-6 in league play. Full slate of Southland Conference games tonight. These conference standings will take a big shift depending on what the result is in the next minute 10. Brooks, step back, 20-footer. No soft touch on the road. And Lee goes over the back on Liam Thomas. Double bonus for the Colonel center. Liam with 17 points. He's matched his career high. He could care less about the 18 or 19 points in the new career high. He just needs 2 points to cut this 3-point deficit. Schmidt ready to check back in for UCA. And Liam Thomas, 2 guaranteed free throws. Colonels are 13 for 15 from the line tonight. Thomas now 3 for 5. Lee leaves, and Tanner Schmidt with his 8 points and 10 rebounds. He's back in the game. Thomas needs and gets the second make. 2-point game, 1:08 on the clock. Jordan Howard has removed himself from the offensive picture over the last 3 minutes. I'm sure that will change with 60 seconds left to play in a critical road game. He's off ball with Brooks looking for the lob, finds Schmidt, stripped late by Rutledge, and it's out of bounds off of UCA. Lafayette Rutledge, 2 big threes in the second half, and the defensive play of the night. 50 seconds puts you in an interesting position. You can play for a confident 2-for-1 if you can find the right shot in the next 15 seconds, and that could be a big benefit depending on what UCA does. First things first, you have to score. Time is irrelevant. You cannot come up with a field goal on this possession. Rutledge, you know he wants the shot. He'll play off ball. With the clock at 13, screened by Thomas. Powell to Rutledge. Unruh reacts late. Lafayette long. And the Colonels have to foul. And now Jordan Howard gets the ball. And Javon Powell reaches in. Tough sequence to swallow for Nicholls. You can live with the missed 3, but don't wait for Jordan Howard to take his time and draw the attention. Colonels still have their work cut out. They'll have maybe 5 to 8 seconds where they can still pressure and trap. With the foul situation still favoring UCA and 2 more fouls needed before they're in the bonus. Big decisions needed for the Colonels. 21 seconds on the clock. How much time do you present to your defense to try and come up with a takeaway before an urgent foul is needed? Richie Riley will assemble his team on the sideline with 21 seconds left and UCA leading by 2. running out of time. They trail by 2, 21 seconds to play. The defensive effort of Nicholls has not been in doubt over the last 10 minutes, but just some impressive and important shots made by Derek Brooks and Tanner Schmidt. Jordan Howard did his thing early in the second half, but he has stepped back and allowed Brooks to take over. Brooks with 1 field goal in the first half. He's up to 22 points in the game, 4 second half threes. Big inbound. Thatch Unruh. Congestion and a forced timeout. And UCA with 20 seconds to play, they are out of timeouts. You have a little bit of a luxury of your Nicholls with the separation between fouls and free throws. 5 team fouls on the Colonels. You can allow the inbound into Jordan Howard and not foul him immediately, but allowing the inbound to be offered, something the Colonels were able to deny on the previous attempt. As a team, as we noted, UCA at 74% from the free throw line this year. Howard's at 92, Brooks is at 83, Marnell's at 83%, Thatch Unruh is 87. Lowry, he'll be on the 5th on the floor with 71, and that's what has prevented Kemba from remaining in the game in these late last-second situations. Fouls are a possibility. Kemba, 61%. That eliminates you from consideration with the other options that UCA has. Brooks on the inbound, Ward waving his arms, and Howard does get the catch. He's fouled late, and Nicholls hesitated on it. I think Howard expected an instinctive foul. Nicholls had the luxury of waiting and trapping, and they applied pressure. But now you cannot allow Jordan Howard to catch this inbound. Anybody else can shoot free throws. You'll live with anyone not named Jordan Howard at the line. They lob off right block, and it's batted out of bounds off of UCA. Costly turnover. Derek Brooks, a disconnect from reality. He hesitated and waited, and Nicholls with 17 seconds to play. Timeout will be called after the officials' review. Doug George, Byron Jarrett, Kevin McGill. They'll head to the monitor and make sure that Brooks was last to touch it. Looked like Derek Brooks thought he had some support from additional teammates or maybe some more resources in the corner. Clearly appeared to last touch Brooks, but he just played off and thought he had some support to pick up that loose ball. As it stands, Nicholls in possession, 17 seconds to play, 2-point deficit. Takes you back to some of those non-conference battles the Colonels had when it felt like every game was going down to the wire. They will confirm it is Colonel possession with 16.6 seconds to play. Boston College went back and forth before Nicholls was able to pull away and get the 78-72 win. Go to double overtime with Samford. San Diego was back and forth until Nicholls was able to prevail late. And every home game, it feels like in the conference, same situation. Nicholls won by 4 in their last home game against McNeese. 17 seconds to play, Nicholls down 2. Powell using the screen, waiting for Rutledge. And Lafayette, he wants the lead. Contact, no foul, and it's out of bounds with 7 seconds to play. Colonels can't panic just yet. They're still in it. Adam Ward re-enters. Rutledge leaves. Colonels went for the go-ahead, and now they need another stop and steal. Brooks will take care of the inbound. Wants Howard, forces it to him, and Jordan Howard, with 6 seconds to play, will get free throws. Worst case scenario for Nicholls. Jordan Howard, 2 freebies. We are 26 games into the season, and Jordan Howard has yet to miss 2 free throws in a game. He missed one earlier in the game. And he'll have 2 big ones with 5.6 seconds to play. Timeout Nicholls, their last to the game, 79-77 UCA. And if you look at the late game execution for UCA, this is why Russ Pennell does not play a non-Division I and non-conference. There are coaches who are obsessed with their win-loss record, and try to sort through some of the regular season realities by padding those non-conference stats. Coach Pinnell came in, started over, cleaned house. He kept Ethan Lee. But he said from day one, I'm returning to my alma mater. It's a lifetime job. I don't want to go anywhere. And my priority is building this team. And we are going to play a full Division I schedule. Now, it hasn't always resulted in the top strength of schedule in the conference, but that's misleading. Power 5 games left and right for UCA this year. They played at Michigan, played at Wisconsin, played at Butler, played at Arizona State. They'll still play a Chattanooga or an Army and non-conference neutral games. And then you turn around in conference, and here's UCA on a 4-game winning streak. They were 3-6 and 4-18 after losing 81-80 against Incarnate Word. Northwestern State, Abilene Christian, Southeastern, and Nicholls, they have all fallen in order against UCA. Now Jordan Howard, he led the state of Arizona in scoring his senior year in 2014. He was going to be a walk-on for Sean Miller at Arizona, for Russ Pinnell, who coached Arizona for a year when Lute Olson retired and led him to the Sweet 16. Jordan Howard now playing for Coach Pinnell and making a huge first free throw. You only need one miss, but it feels like an impossible request of Howard. Top 10 in the country, first in the Southland in free throw percentage. Jordan Howard, junior, 93% free throw shooter. He misses the second. First time all year he's missed 2 free throws in a game. Colonels can tie. Javon Powell, overtime! Of misses, and it will haunt Jordan Howard if Nicholls comes up with this win. Javon Powell's first 3 of the game, his second field goal of the night. Let's play 5 more. (80-80), a last-second scoring splurge. Last player you would expect to take and make this shot with the way the previous 40 minutes have played out for Javon Powell. He never lacks confidence. He was the reason why Nicholls held on and picked up the 4-point win against McNeese. He came in off a stagger screen, caught in the corner, buried a 3, gave Nicholls a 5-point lead, and they ended up winning by 4. Javon Powell went up with one knee. He stayed grounded on the release. It was all he needed to take and make the shot. 80-80. Nicholls, a stunning response to get back in this game and force for 5 more minutes. But the officials, after a quick look, they'll review the play and put 0.6 of a second on the clock. One last chance for UCA, a deep inbound, and Bell, he prevents any possibility of a regulation win. And now we officially have 5 more minutes on the clock. It is 80-80. Javon Powell, a career high in assists, but the biggest make of the night was a 3-pointer with time winding down in regulation. Nicholls 80, UCA 80. Colonel basketball alive and well on a Thursday night in Thibodaux. Nicholls ready to snap this 4-game winning streak for UCA. It'll take overtime, where the Colonels are 2-0 this season. Powell, Stevie Repahowski, Liam Thomas, Jonathan Bell, and Jadante Fry for Nicholls, Lowry, Brooks, Howard, Schmidt, and Ethan Lee for UCA. Liam Thomas' second time tonight. He will win the tip. Nicholls, after playing from behind over the last 5 minutes of regulation, they can strike first in OT. Jonathan Bell exposes Lowry, opens it up to Powell. Great cross-court feed. It's already a career night for Repahowski. 6 made threes, 20 points, 3-point advantage for Nicholls. And a block on the flip side as Repahowski got caught in the corner against Lee. Ethan Lee scoreless on the night. And the advantage of the foul situation for Nicholls. Still 1-1 for UCA. Lee, not his strong suit, but he gets the soft bounce. 46% free throw shooter, Ethan Lee. High hop off the back rim, 83-81 Nicholls. And wouldn't you know it, Jordan Howard is over here missing a free throw. He's missed 2 free throws in the game, now twice on the season. And Ethan Lee gets to go 2 for 2. We may still get to 100 points in this game. Seemed unlikely the way the first half was playing out. 47 second half points for UCA, 44 for Nicholls, and now turnover number 13. That's Unruh. Third time he's picked up a 2-point field goal. 90% of his scoring are on threes this season, but that's Unruh opening up his offensive arsenal. 12 points, 3 boards in 17 minutes. 1-point lead for UCA. 2-man game between Fry and Bell. And Jonathan Bell overpowering Jeff Lowry. Bully ball in the paint. 4 Colonels in double figures. Bell's up to 15. Will 1 overtime be enough? UCA prevailed last year in Thibodaux. They thought they had this game wrapped up. Had Howard shooting a free throw, up 3 with 6 seconds to play. Now they're down 1 and a giveaway. Turnover number 12 on UCA. Tanner Schmidt, his second of the night. Colonels trying to tighten up their defense, keep their reign of dominance at home, and continue their winning ways in Thibodaux. Still just 1 loss in Thib this season. Powell tied the game up at regulation, finds Thomas, and 1 won't follow. But Liam Thomas, 2 made free throws would give him the first 20-point game of his career. Liam Thomas was the Colonel offense in half number 1. His defense has been able to match and exceed the offense we've experienced from the senior tonight, but his free throw shooting suddenly shoddy. He's missed 2 of his last 3 after starting 3 for 4. 4 second half blocks for Liam. And an 0 for 2 trip at the line. Thatch Unruh with the rebound. Lead stays at 1 for Nicholls. Colonels are 1 for their last 6 on free throws. And Brooks, rare miss. Repahowski will claim the rebound. Under 3 minutes to play in what has become a tense evening in Thibodaux. Neither team's able to relax. Too much at stake. Powell and Thomas. Javon Powell. Why not? Career high 11 assists, but the 2 biggest buckets of the night, courtesy of Powell. A couple huge hits. Nicholls is up 4. And a reach that almost led to a steal. Brooks uncertain. Waits. Clears, and it's Lowry and Fry going toe-to-toe. They'll switch, and now Fry is stuck with Brooks. Great recovery by Fry. Now Thomas is playing out. He has to close. He's too late. Big bucket. Derek Brooks. Derek Brooks saw 3 different Colonels try to D him up in a 15-second window. Players make plays, and Nicholls, with 2 minutes to play, unable to stop Derek Brooks. 25 for Brooks tonight. Colonels on top by 1. Powell races to the rim. He scores again. Double-double. Javon Powell, 10 points, 11 assists, 7 rebounds. Colonels up 3. Schmidt extended the hip. No foul on the offensive window. 90 seconds to play. Unruh late give. Lowry won't take the 3. Unruh will. A little long, and rebound number 9 for Thomas, and there will be less than 60 seconds to play when UCA next touches the ball. 1:15 on the game clock, 20 seconds on the shot clock. Colonels will clear the floor. They've got shooters everywhere you look. Two-man game, Thomas and Powell. Javon Powell, late kick. Bell spot, shoots, and misses long. Schmidt with the rebound, and his next field goal will give him the first double-double of his career. Russ Pennell wants to make sure that UCA is certain of their offensive intent. Timeout on the floor, 55 seconds to play. Colonels and Bears, they never disappoint. Two underrated teams in the Southland Conference. Every game is a gym. When Central Arkansas and Nicholls State University meet, this is 4 straight games. We've had back and forth offensive shootouts. Colonels trying to avenge Saturday's 106-83 loss against UCA, but it's Central Arkansas with their work cut out. They trail by 3 with 55 seconds remaining in overtime. And Russ Pennell, he'll quickly assemble his team, and you would imagine the talking point is Jordan Howard. Jordan Howard has 20 points in this game, but it feels like an eternity since he last looked and attempted a shot on offense. Missed free throw created a little breathing room for the Colonels, and it was Javon Powell taking advantage of that missed free throw by Jordan Howard. He ties the game up from just inside the volleyball line. And in overtime, Powell, 5 of the 10 points for Nicholls. Jordan Howard did not think that his night would be decided by the point guard on the opposite team. It was Jordan Howard that had confused and created endless issues for Powell on Saturday. And you hate to say it, but Jordan Howard was in Javon's head, and that never happens. Powell came back after Saturday's game, and he said it wasn't going to happen again. Jordan Howard and Javon Powell, this is the matchup with 50 seconds to play. They're at midcourt. Brooks setting the screen, and somehow he gets wide open, but misses the 3, and Nicholls takes over with 46 seconds to play. This is why they are the best 1-2 offensive combo in the conference. If you're just looking at pure scoring ability, Brooks and Howard now lingering in the backcourt, and Howard almost takes it away from Fry. Colonels fortunate to cross, and Derek Brooks again flies into the front row. It's saved by UCA, and they throw it away. Turnover, 32 seconds to play. Derek Brooks somehow just landed in my lap twice in the same game. (90-87) Nicholls, 25 seconds on the clock. And Powell fouled with 24 ticks remaining. 2 free throws for Nicholls, 2 big ones for Javon Powell. Double-double for Powell tonight. Career high 11 assists, but it's the 8 points in the last 5.5 minutes that has separated the Colonels from UCA, and Powell continues to make big free throws. He's 89% from the line in conference play. 2-possession lead for Nicholls. What a second half for Javon Powell. 5-point lead, 22 seconds remaining. You know Howard's ready to take this shot, but it'll be a 2, and he gets the push from behind. An unexpected drive to the rim by Jordan Howard. It was 80-77 UCA, 6 seconds to play. Howard had just made a free throw, missed the second. Powell tied it at the end of regulation. Now Jordan Howard, he cannot afford another miss. He went 11 for 13 2 weeks ago against Northwestern State. That was the only other time in a game he's missed 2 free throws in a game. Howard 4 for 6 tonight. 1-possession game. 92-89. Nicholls on top, and they do have a timeout. Howard makes it easy. Quick foul. First of the night on Jordan Howard. 2 more free throws for Javon Powell, and he is the first player up the floor. Powell wasting no time. He hustles to the free throw line. Colonels up 3. And who else would you rather have at the free throw line? 12 points, 13 assists, 7 rebounds. After making his last 2 attempts, Javon Powell, 3 straight clutch overtime makes. 2-possession lead for the Colonels. Howard was able to draw that foul 4 seconds after the Powell made free throws, so still significant amount of time left in this game. But Javon Powell providing relief. 5-point lead, 15 seconds to play. Howard, it's going up from the in logo. Long, and it hits the suspension. 12 seconds to play. Colonel's in the driver's seat. No turnovers and made free throws, and Nicholls will have this win. Bryan control of the inbounds. A late release and the foul on Powell. Javon Powell understands that his role will change moving into next year. The Colonels have 3 dynamic scorers arriving on campus, and Corinthian Thomas, Tavon Sadler, and Roddy Peters. But this season, Javon Powell has become the #1 offensive weapon because of his passing and shooting. 25 points against the top team in the conference a week and a half ago at New Orleans. Another double-double, a new career high in assists tonight, and Javon Powell, the Colonel MVP with Nicholls up 7 and 11 seconds to play. Parnell waits, hesitates, shoots and misses. Bell on the board, and Nicholls, a stunning comeback and another home win. Colonels still alive in the 2017 playoff picture. Remarkable showing by Javon Powell, and the heart of this team on full display back at home. Gutty win, 96-89. Do or die time for Nicholls State University, and they were not about to go down without leaving everything on this floor. Javon Powell, stunning display of resilience down the stretch. He finishes with 16 points, 13 assists, and 7 rebounds. New career high for Liam Thomas, new career high for Stevie Repahowski. 18 for Thomas, 22 for Repahowski. Thomas also had 6 blocks. Colonels win. Nicholls now 5-8 in conference play. 4-game winning streak over for UCA. They fall to 7-7 in the conference. Nicholls back to 5-8 with a 96-89 win. We'll see you Saturday night. Northwestern State, they're in Thibodaux. Critical matchup for the Colonels. Only 2 more home games remaining for Nicholls. Big battle Saturday night against a team that prevailed late in Natchitoches. Almost all of these home games are must-wins for the Colonels, and they will turn around and match up against the Demons Saturday night right here on GoColonels.com. Thanks for spending your Thursday evening with us. Took overtime, but the Colonels are now 3-0 in OT. 96-89. Nicholls with the win. My name is Bryant Johnson. You've been watching the home of Nicholls State University Athletics. GoColonels.com.